back to studio. We're continuing with this discussion about the negotiated democracy, especially as it happens in the northeastern region. Still with my guests, Bwana Danstan Omari, political analyst, Roy Ochieng, and Mohamed Isaac Hassan, a candidate for the Mandera South constituency under the Economic Freedom Party, also a beneficiary of the negotiated democracy. Now, of course, just before the break, we were asking the questions. This dissent that we are seeing, because yes, negotiated democracy has lasted quite a while, but we are now seeing a wave of dissent from the same leaders who have benefited from it. Isn't it a need, Bwana Mohammed, isn't there a need by some of these leaders who've come and they've realized the problems or the challenges that come with trying to run a county government with these sultans or clan elders who keep demanding that, yes, you have to do this. If you do not do as we say, then you will not do your job. Don't you think that some governors are feeling, no, probably if I go it alone and I manage to win, I'll be in a better position to run this county?
Thank you. Those are the concerns that actually people who are now in power cite when they want to go against the elders. But practically, there is no day. You know, there is a place where you say elders sit in procurement committee. It doesn't happen. Every office has got its own mandate. Governance roles are specified in the Constitution, in the County Government Act. So there is no day an elder comes and sits in the procurement committee. Though all the elders do is they always agitate and advocate for equity and proper resource mobilization across the community and across the county.
Do they, for example, have influence in as far as who gets employed as a county executive or who gets to sit in what county office?
As long as the requirements are clearly specified, and they say, for example, they sit with the leaders and say, now that we came through like this, as through negotiated democracy, how our seats are planned and given across the communities. If they want, for example, a slot of an executive go to Section X, that Section X must provide people with competence, with the necessary qualification.
So they still get to determine who gets employed?
No, they don't sit there, but they advise. They say, we want Clan X to benefit because you don't have a member of parliament, you don't have an MCA. We want these people to benefit. We don't want them to be locked out. They actually sit with the governor, with the leaders, and advise them. Now it is up to the governor and people in office to make sure that that Clan X that was given that slot through negotiation must provide people with the capacity. If it is not there, my friend, you go to the next. It is not must. It is not must. They don't influence.
Ray Ochieng, do you see the problem there that yes, some of the governors may feel a bit tied up by this clan burden or the elders burden that you have to, you're not independent. You cannot run the county as a governor independently of the elders.
Fred, completely. In terms of, you know, Mohammed is a beneficiary of this negotiated democracy, and he will really support it to the top of his voice. But in terms of when we look constitutionally, Fred, we have even the president in itself, the president not being above the law, and their checks and balances even for the highest office. I'm asking myself, we really need to relook at this issue of, especially the northeastern scenario, because, Fred, if we've had what you've just read, it can be true, it cannot be true, but the fact that you are elected by the elders, it means that as you run your operations, you are really going to do it in fear. And Fred, look at this scenario whereby you've just been made a governor, and then you have 5 years to do your duties, and you have all these forces around you to deliver. So if in the 5 years you've not delivered, and now you're being told, now it is a time that Danstan should now step in, and it is your time to go out. I really believe then, if we are to look at what Mohammed is really vouching for, then where are the checks and balances of these people? Yes. Because we cannot have elders, because all these elders, they're human beings, unless Mohammed has just landed from Mars today, which I believe is a Kenyan. So we don't have this utopian aspect of expecting that we pontify these leaders and whatever they say becomes law and whatever they say is in the good and the interest of the community. Me, I really believe, in terms of to the extent where I agree with them, is how we make sure that small clans are also participating in terms of the the share of the economic share of the county.
Yes.
But the fact that we are getting that we have all these people having the rights to say who comes in, when they come in, and I also really believe they really meddle in terms of what these governors are doing.
And when it comes to clans, now that you've mentioned clans, that issue of clanism, and especially in northeastern Kenya, is a real problem, especially if you cross over to countries like Somalia. You remember issues just before Siad Barre was deposed. Clanism and the issue of now our clan is bigger, we need to form our own grouping here. Probably the negotiated democracy didn't go so well. Someone who went against that deal actually managed to become a leader. Don't you think that some of these things, Bwana Dunstan Omari, that the Constitution was keen on trying to diffuse some of these problems that could come up eventually?
There are two. I don't agree with any of those Brian is raising. Why? The position of a governor is a political position. The creation of government, either anywhere in this country, is a political process. It is not an appointative process. So if the elders speak the wishes of the people, and they have said, go in as a governor, through an electoral process, they are going to vote. Remember, these councils have not said, the council of the Muslims in those areas have not said that their word is final. Their word will be known if they galvanize the voters and they eject out the governors who are there. That has happened. Look at how many governors in Jubilee zones were thrown out because they thought that the jobs they were given, they know the answers. The voters are the ones who want to describe how they will be governed. If you will not do the way the voter wants, and you think that you are sitting as a governor, you want to do the way you think it will be done, the voters have what is called the residual title. After every 5 years, you go for them. It is a referendum whether your policies, whether your actions, whether your government complied with the wishes of the majority. And therefore, anybody who is not seeing that essence, that you will decide to insist that I'm an executive governor. And that is why all of them have left. Because in 2013, when we were electing the first governors, we got it wrong that this is a purely technocratic job, like a PS, like a cabinet secretary. The reality is, it is a political process. Look to the national level. Will the president do what he thinks is right? He will do it for 5 years. After 5 years, he goes back for a referendum. So in my own view, if Northeastern, the people who constitute Mandera County, have said, do it this way. For appointments, these are the people we gave you. The law only provides, do these people have the minimum qualification? Once they have the minimum qualification, then they will say, this village doesn't have somebody. That is equity. That ward doesn't have somebody. Give them. That is the type of equal distribution of resources. And the biggest resource that Kenyans have been yearning for is the resource to lead.
Okay.
But Fred, quickly.
Let me stop you there briefly because we need to listen to CS Nkaiseri as addressing the third cycle of the police service awards. We'll come back briefly to wrap up our conversation in just a moment.
Ray.
When I was appointed as the CS Interior, I thought IPOA was an obstacle to the police function. But later on, I realized it is the best commission we should have in our country. Let me also thank the command of the National Police Service, led by the IG and his deputies, for really bringing transforming the service to the standard which is there today. We are continuing to improve on the standard of our police. We are working around the clock to ensure that we give the citizens the best possible service from the uniformed people. When you look at the police, and talking from my military background, although I've been a little bit corrupted by politics, I always feel very proud to see our uniformed people. The daring, it portrays a good citizen, somebody who understands what our country is all about. That brings out efficiency, that brings out effectiveness, that brings out discipline. You know, when you join the service, you are taught how to walk. People tend to be walking, you know how to walk, but when you get into the police or the military, the first thing you are trained is how to walk and how to think. You civilians, most of you think you know how to think, but in the uniform service we train people how to think logically. It is thinking logically, not just thinking haphazardly.
Yes, CS for Interior there, Joseph Nkaissery, addressing the congregation there at the Intercontinental Hotel, where the third cycle of the Police Service Awards is being held. Back in studio, we want to wrap up this discussion about negotiated democracy. And Ray Ocheng, you were reacting, you're just about to react to what one of Dunstan has said.
Yeah, and Dunstan has tried to cool me off air.
Yeah. So now you've changed your mind.
And we are coming to a conclusion.
Yeah.
And Fred, we agree in terms of this is the voice of the people through the leaders. But the only thing that I'm looking at is the checks and balances. And my two colleagues are honestly agreeing to the fact that sometimes in this case, Fred, your development record is not going to be the platform for your re-election, yes, but it will be because of what is the edict that is going to be released by the elders. So in terms of my way is, if we have to improve this system, then why don't we improve this system to a point whereby this Northeastern Elder system is also capsulated within our constitution, yes, so that we also have checks and balances. And Fred, what I'm emphasizing today is checks and balances of these elders, because they can't be wrong.
There's a risk that the elders could actually go wrong,
yes, and
decide to do other things.
True.
And that is the question I wanted Bwana Mohamed Isaac Hassan to answer. We've seen this clanism not really work, or rather work negatively in countries like Somalia. How is it different in Kenya, where now we're even allowing them to determine who actually runs the county?
Thank you very much. Before I go to that, I would like to comment about what my friend said. I want to categorically say that elders do not work in a vacuum. In particular, Mandera Council of Elders, what they have done, before they have made their verdict, before they call for a big baraza to make the decision, they went across the county to the 6th sub-county. They heard the voices of the people. They met women, they met youth, they met elders, they met all stakeholders and professionals.
Incidentally, just as you continue, are women represented in that Council of Elders that make this decision? Are there any number of women in that council?
No.
They cannot.
No.
Mm-hmm.
There are 21 for our community, and they are all men.
No single woman?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, what they have done, they have heard the voices of the people. They have done their search. They asked people, they consulted widely. The only group that is agitated, that feel that they have not been consulted widely and properly, is the leaders in power. And there is conflict of interest here. If I come to you and I tell you I want to remove you from office, obviously you will refuse. So maybe if there were not enough consultation on that line, it's because of that conflict of interest. But when they were coming round, I was at a place called Banisa, and I was called to attend that meeting as a professional. So over 90% of people, professionals who attended that meeting, said we want change. So they are not just working one morning and in the name of elders they are not making decision. They have consulted wide and enough to come to that conclusion. So I don't see a reason as to why elders' voice should be subjected to be conflicting with the constitution, because they are not telling you this is what we said and you cannot contest. Many people are contesting, so there is that it is clear in the constitution.
Okay.
Then the other issue is, you said we compare
It is
clanism.
not in the constitution.
The clanism and whether or not the possibility of it turning negative.
And no, I think we cannot compare our situation to the one in Somalia, because whatever steps, whatever we do here, we are subjecting ourselves to the constitution and asking ourselves, where are we going wrong? If we say elders are making this decision, how does it conflict with the constitution? Okay, elders are acting up to this level. They made their decision after hearing the voices of the people, and then they make the decision based on that. Thereafter, it is up to you to abide by their decision or to defy. Therefore, we are not that extreme end where everybody do what he wants in this country. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much, Mohamed Isaac Hassan, candidate for the Mandera South constituency seat on the Economic Freedom Party ticket. Danstan Omari, political analyst, and Rio Ching, political analyst, helping us understand what exactly negotiated democracy is. Now I want to switch to another discussion. After the break, of course, we'll be discussing this new drug that the Health Ministry through NASCOP has rolled out in as far as containing the spread of HIV. That after the break.